you don't even have to fake it. So
Mhm.
the beauty of being in this room of healthcare professionals is that you're like more important than your media, more important than brand experience is the fact that you're a doctor. Like,
Mhm.
how many years did you go to school for? Hello, and welcome to the Master the Media podcast. I'm your host, Amy Gorn, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. So, I have a special treat. I just this week hosted a free coaching call for Master the Media for just anyone who wanted to come, whether they were students or not students, just people who wanted to learn more about brand partnerships. And they asked incredible questions. And so they learned so much. They walked away knowing better how to land brand partnerships for themselves. And so I want to share this with you. So I'm going to share the recording with you. And I hope that by listening, you'll first of all learn how you can start the path to begin landing brand partnerships. If you're already on that path, hopefully you'll take away some tips to elevate your journey to the next level. So enjoy. Think of this as a free coaching call. No matter if you end up joining Master the Media or not, I want you to be able to envision what it is like to earn $50,000 in brand partnerships. So I'm here to answer all of your questions. Before we get started, I just want to mention we added a flash bonus. So all of our bonuses for enrollment end tomorrow. And right now, when you enroll in Master the Media, and I know some of you guys are here for re-enrollment bonuses as well. So we are offering an extra month of Master the Media when you enroll by end of day tomorrow. Also a one-on-one 50K strategy call where you'll work with one of our Master the Media coaches to come up with your individualized strategy plan for making 50K. And then we also are adding an additional month in Master the Media when you pay in full. So with that, I'm just going to open it up to questions. So raise your virtual hand if you want to ask something. Don't be shy. No question is silly or too big or too small. Christine, I know you had some potential questions that you wanted to ask. Jessica.
Okay, so I just wanted to say, first of all, I'm just honored to be in the program. It's been a minute. And there is a supplement company that I've been talking to on LinkedIn, and they were doing really well. And now there was a legal matter that happened, and so they're trying to get back up off the ground. So I've been communicating with them in all the areas that I can help them with. And I sent them a list of pricing and deliverables from your spreadsheet, and I put it like on Canva. She is showing it to her whole team. She's going to the bank to get a loan. She's very impressed with it. Even AI approved me, she said. So I just want to say, like, thank you. Like, I'm learning how to use the spreadsheet, and I even ran it through AI to see what it possibly told her about me. So I just hope
Oh, I'm
everything
so
works
happy to
out.
hear. Jessica is one of our current students. She's about to graduate, and it's been wonderful having you in the program. And she's referencing, we just added a whole bunch of spreadsheets that are basically ready, set, go bundles that you can customize or not, and basically copy and paste this onto brands.
Mhm. Yes.
I'm so happy to
I
hear
just
that, Jessica.
thank you.
You're so welcome. Avery.
I'm wondering, I have a question. It's not necessarily related to Master the Media. Is that okay?
Of course, of course.
Okay. So first of all, I've been to a few of your master classes and I find them so helpful. And so I want to say thank you for all that, the
Oh, my
guidance and
pleasure.
inspiration. So I'm kind of trying to navigate working with brands and stuff. I'm not super deep into it, but I have been working with one, I guess, brand. And all I do is I get quotes for them. Like I write quotes and then get their backlink. And so I don't know how stable it is because it's I found it on Upwork. It's like a freelance contract. So it's not like it's kind of indefinite until they tell me they no longer need me. So I don't have a lot of security in it, but it's good when I do get the links. So I'm curious about how can I take that experience and skill and like what else can I do with that?
That's a
Um,
great question. And this is actually a really important question. So, what you're talking about, it has several different names, and I'm going to just talk through them because some of you might be like, oh, yeah, that rings a bell. So, this can be called pay per play, where you mention a brand in a media interview and you get paid when it's published, of course, you have to disclose to the reporter that you're working with. They're also sometimes just called media interviews because sometimes the brand will set them up on your behalf, or sometimes they'll ask you to respond to like a hero or a quoted request. But the good news is that this is something that almost every brand out there wants. It's become a little bit more difficult in today's landscape of media. You guys are probably seeing that media outlets are changing and closing and reorganizing left and right. And so the good news is that you can take those same skills and reapply them. So one of the things that I love to recommend is sponsored TV segments. So if you have an interest in going on camera on behalf of a brand, a lot of local TV stations, you can just, they have something called a station fee. So like you'll pay a nominal fee. It's usually somewhere between $500 and $1,000. And then the brand, and this is all like, of course, there's a lot more to the back and forth, but then the brand would pay you for you to go on TV representing them. And you would get paid like, say, $3,500 to $5,000. And so you would help them set that up to get guaranteed media. That's one instance. Another is press releases. And for anyone joining, we're just getting started now. So so just raise your hand if you have a question and I'll get to you. But you can also pitch to brands, hey, do you want to feature, pitch me out to media, and then I can give quotes on your behalf. And that's something where you can even help them, create quotes and tips that they send out to the reporters and use those as kind of an interest spark to get you to be interviewed on their behalf.
Okay, awesome. I think yeah, I didn't realize that I guess the news and the video option was even out there.
Yeah.
One thing that I'm finding, I'm not sure how to navigate if I wanted to do different brands. So like I've just been quoting for one brand, and I feel like if I were to offer it to other brands, it's hard to guarantee that I will get their particular link in, because the journalists who I work with, um, many of them have quoted me multiple times in their stories, and so they get used to what my link is and what I work with. And so I don't know how that would work if I was like constantly jumping around, like, okay, today I want you to link this brand, and then next time I want you to link this
Yeah.
brand. So I don't.
So yeah, what you're talking about, so there's a backlink when you get interviewed by the media, you can say, please credit me as Avery Zenker, and then you can literally hyperlink your name to your website and send that to them, and hopefully they'll just copy and paste it. When you're recommending a brand, and usually it happens organically, if they say, hey, can you recommend 3 coffee companies you like, or 3, plant-based food products? And then you would say, oh, I love this, I love Koya smoothies. And you would literally hyperlink Koya smoothies to their website. And it's really, a who knows game. If it's usually about 50% of the time they'll publish your link, and 50% of the time they won't. And this is a little bit uncertain, which is why I always do like to say, like, when you're pitching, when you're working with brands, like give them a lot of ideas. And so you can guarantee some work like social media work or a quote in a press release, or, even TV segments that they're landing for you. And that's a little bit more certain than the media work.
Hmm. Okay, that
Can I
makes
also
sense.
ask what they're paying you for the interviews?
Yeah, so I get paid for every backlink that I get. They pay me 500 US.
That's good. You could, just so you know, you could get paid up to like 1,500 to 2,000.
Wow.
That's what
Okay.
the market is. But
Okay.
that's
Do
it.
you have any examples of like examples of when that happens or what that might look like?
Yeah, so that's literally so within Master of the Media, for instance, we have suggested rates for about 100 deliverables, and they're just suggestions. They're not like you have to go and charge this. But that would be, if you're kind of communicating to the brand. In this case, you kind of you applied to an open job basically. But if a brand came to you, or you came to a brand and said, our goal is to get featured in the media, then you would kind of, what you could suggest is, here's a package of deliverables. And this is literally what we just added to Master the Media, is you can copy and paste our media package and it has the pricing in there. But for instance, I think that package has like, 4 media interviews at 15 each, 3 quotes and tips from you to give to the brand so that they can pitch you out. And like the quotes and tips are $1,000. The media interviews are $1,500 each. I think the second layer package has the TV segment that you help them land. That is like $3,500. And so what you're doing is you're bundling together different deliverables, and you're not only having that line item that's really nice, that $1,500 line item, but you're bundling them together so you have like a minimum of a $10,000 package.
Okay, very interesting. All right, thank you. I won't take up any more of the time here, but thank you for
You're
the
so
advice.
welcome.
And
Well, stick
yeah.
around and, there'll probably be time to ask more questions. Leah,
Hi.
hi.
How are you doing? It's been a
Good, how
while
are
since
you?
I've been on one
It
of these.
has been a while.
So I just got an email from a brand and I haven't, can I just read you like the blurb of it and
Yeah,
then,
do you want to share your screen?
I can just read it real quick.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very short. So it just says like, thanks for reaching out. We're currently looking to increase our press involvement and this could be a great partnership. Have you worked with clients in that capacity? So I have not actually worked with clients, like paid clients yet in that capacity. I have like millions of like views and whatever for like being quoted in media, but I've never been paid for something. So I'm just kind of curious on like how to frame that I'm
Yeah.
not inexperienced.
Yeah, and this is something that comes up a lot. And it's kind of you don't want to be dishonest, but you also there's ways to kind of dance around. So, um, it, like tell me what examples you do have that you could share, if they were kind of leaving the door more open.
So the only thing that I've ever really done is and I haven't actually been paid for them. It's more of just like for the brands, just but not paid yet, doing like video and recipe creation type of stuff.
So that could certainly work. You don't have to just, they're not saying, have you done paid work? And I know the
Right.
implication is yes, but if you say, um, this is something I'm starting to build, and here are some examples of work I've done for X and X brand. And then you could also, what I like to do is like, you probably have, some kind of an Instagram post or a blog post that's performed really well. And so you could also say, here's an example, like you could give them those examples that you did for brands, and then you could give them the example of what you did that performed really well on your own, just as an idea of your work.
Okay. When it talks about like press involvement, I know that can be like a super vast
Yeah.
ask, but what in your mind would that necessarily be?
Yeah. Can you read that sentence one more time?
Yeah, it just says we're currently looking to increase our press involvement, and this
Okay.
could be a great partnership.
Yeah. So sometimes you get the chance. If they're vague, you can help them reframe what they're asking. So
Okay.
you could write back and you could say, and this depends on what you want to do, but absolutely, I'd love to help you get the brand placed in media interviews and TV interviews. And have you thought about a press release or a mat release? And this is your chance for them to be like, I haven't, tell us more. And that's why like a press release could be a $5,000 line item.
Right.
And that's why you want to try and like help them strategize. Okay, you're looking to reach consumers in this specific space. Well, I actually think, these deliverables would help you address those goals or help you reach those goals. A lot of times when you guys are talking to brands, you're actually helping them think of ideas that they wouldn't have thought of on their own. And that's really where most of the money is in brand partnerships. It's rare that a brand will come to you and they'll say, okay, we have this $20,000 package. Do you want it? A lot of times they might come to you and say, we want press. How can you help us? And then you say, oh, well, okay, master the media's bundle, for media, I'll send them the $10,000 and the $20,000 option. And then, and there's more to it. Like you'll help them walk through why those are valuable.
Right. Could you walk a little bit through like press releases and kind of how those
Yeah.
come about?
Yeah, so press releases are one of my favorite things to do for brands because a lot of brands in this landscape don't really know that they're an option. So you tell them like, hey, here's a guaranteed way for you to reach millions of people. And you could even include it as part of your scope of work to help them get the press release published. And that's something like I would help you with inside of Master the Media. But basically, they would either write the press release or hire a press release service to do that.
Okay.
And they would add a quote from you, hey, dietitian Leah says this product is awesome. And you're basically just giving like 1 or 2 sentences, and then they publish it. And depending on what service they're working with, it usually gets syndicated to like dozens, if not hundreds of outlets. Like I've been quoted in press releases that got published in the New York Times and the Chicago Tribune, like big outlets.
Mhm.
And basically because they're using your name and likeness in this huge way, that's why, the compensation is usually about 5,000.
Okay. And that would be something that like they could hire somebody for.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there a specific spot in Master of the Media where it talks about that? Because
Yeah.
I did it a while ago, but I just
Yeah. So the parts where we get like really deep into all of this are, okay, so, and let me just walk you guys through because I'm talking super abstractly right now. And you might be like, let's actually look at what we're talking about. So I'm going to show you the back end of Master of the Media. And Leah already has access to the back end of everything because she did Master of the Media a long time ago. Okay, so let me share my screen. We just added, I'm going to kind of show you all the parts that are applicable. So we just added brand partnership school to the Master of the Media program. So like you start here, and this is just the educational platform. We have a lot of other services. So this is kind of the beginning of how you touch base with brand and talk them through pricing and talk them through packages. And then this is like probably the meatiest part of the program is the bundling blueprint. And here's what I was talking about when I was talking about like you could literally have bundle 1, 2, and 3. So this is literally I created 14 of these. There's another spreadsheet that has 4 of them, these bundle templates. And so if we're talking about media, here's literally a template for, you could send a brand like the $6,000 option, this $10,000 option, or this $18,000 option. And I don't think this one actually has the press release, but I'm gonna like fake add it. Actually, I'll just show you over here. So this is kind of like your customizable pricing, and what you put in here gets input into the bundle templates. And so like here's the press release line item, and you would fill in like this is what I would charge. I would charge 5,000, but you, Leah, could put in, if you want to charge 4,500, you could just change your price to that, and it would auto populate when you put it into a bundle. So let me show you. So that's like the pricing intensive part. List of rates. So there's about 100 different brand partnership rates you could plug in. I'm going to fast forward to everything else. So then in Master of the Media, there's 13 modules. The ones that you'd really want to focus on for getting into the nitty gritty of like what you could do for a brand are modules 8. So we get into like all the services that you can offer brands. We get into, and then in module 11, it's all about how to price and how to negotiate with the brand. And then module 12 is the contract part of the partnership when you get to that stage. And then module 13 is taking it a step further. Like once you've landed the contract, how to take that and make, say, $100,000 from that brand contract over time. So I know that was kind of probably a little intense. Any
yeah.
questions?
Okay, sorry, last question, then I'll let somebody else ask.
And if anyone has questions about what we just went over, please let me know too.
So they, like I said, it was a pretty short email. So I wouldn't necessarily add in like my bundles first, right? I would just say like
Yeah,
a couple
so
of things and then we should get on a call so we can talk more through them.
so the Master the Media process that we're teaching today is whether you reach out or whether they reach out, your goal is to get on a call because things can get lost and really like fizzle out really fast over email. So yes, I can definitely help you with this. Here's the examples of my work. I'd love to get on a call, and then make it easy for them and, try and schedule the call for them. So like I'm available every weekday from, 3 to 5 p.m. Is there a time in there that works for you? Send them the calendar invite. Then when you get on the call, it's a little bit of like motivational interviewing like we do as clinicians where, tell me about what your goals are. What audience are you trying to reach? Is it consumers? Is it healthcare professionals? Is it both? And then, you come to the call with ideas. The ideas that you share will depend on what they say. Then you might say, oh, have you thought about a press release? Have you thought about TV? And then that's where, as your follow-up, on the call, you want to ask them, like, what's your budget? Do you have a budget in mind? Do you have a timeline in mind? And then you would follow up and give them, 2 or 3 bundle options. And that's where you're, instead of giving them a rate sheet, which is them going to say, okay, let's do one Instagram post for $1,000. And that's the end of the day. They'll say, oh, package B for $10,000 looks great.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm going to answer a question from the chat. Stacy is asking, actually, Stacy, do you want to ask your question? Or I can read it for you if you'd like. Most of your testimonials were from dietitians and other medical professionals. What types of opportunities do you have for physicians? I'm a dual board certified by the ABOMI and ABLM. Awesome. So tell me a little bit more about your area of expertise and what you do clinically day to day. Okay, well, I'm just going to start talking and okay. Yeah, Stacy, you can go ahead and start talking. Oh, you're muted. Stacy, you're muted. I can't hear you, but we'll try and get that fixed. Lisa, maybe you can help her. We have our tech support person here is Lisa. Hopefully she can help. But yeah, we actually have a lot of opportunities for physicians, and we work with a lot of physicians in the lifestyle medicine space. Stacy, do you want to try talking again and see if it works? Well, you can type your questions as follow-up if you'd like. But yeah, we have, I'd say, about a third of the healthcare professionals that we work with are either physicians or physician assistants or nurse practitioners. So they're in that realm. Basically, whenever we have a new type of expert join, we send out an e-blast to our list of about 7,300 media and brand contacts, and then we also add them to our website. So I'll actually show you guys what this looks like. And for instance, like we just had a dermatologist sign on to Master the Media. So we'll send out an e-blast like, hey, we have a dermatologist. And Emily Stain, she's also a physician. Amazing. So here's the page on our website where we list all of the types of experts that we have. And then either media or brands can fill out this form. And that's where a lot of the opportunities come from for the practitioners that we work with. So let me just share a few examples of, so this is Simran. She is our physician advisor. She's also a Master of the Media student. But she's triple board certified in internal medicine, palliative care, lifestyle medicine, and she's worked with brands ranging from like Prolon to like snack items for for her kids, and she's worked and a lot of plant-based types of products. Let me find Kara. This is Dr. Kara Wada. She is quadruple board certified. Not all of our physicians are like double and triple and quadruple board certified, but she's actually earned, went up to about $35,000 in brand partnerships, and she her specialty is like allergies, and so she's worked with air purifier companies, fragrance-free skin products, and then I'll show you one more example, and then I'll let you guys ask questions. So this is Dr. Liz, and she's actually earned much more than this by now, but she's gotten paid by companies to do speaking engagements. She's worked with formula companies because she's a pediatrician. So there's a lot of opportunities in this and within Master the Media that we help you navigate and find. So Stacy, I don't know if you're able to talk now, if your audio works or not. Okay, Emily is also saying that she's a physician. Do you want to jump in?
I want to introduce myself. First of all, Amy, I love your podcast. I don't know how I found it, actually. I think some type of intelligence suggested it to me because it saw me exploring different revenue streams, but I've listened to so many different episodes and I just like your energy, and I think you have such a great range of content. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
I am a pediatric ENT, ear, nose, throat surgeon, and
wonderful. That's wonderful for media.
I work in a very large academic health system, Johns Hopkins. And so actually, as I listen, I am just like swimming in all of the disclosure and conflict of interest interest work, while I think about kind of making a shift into brand partnership, consulting, and advisory work. I have a question about,
Yeah.
so for me specifically, there's a whole line of ENT peds products that I believe in, like Shocks headphones, right, or these bone conduction headsets or something. But I've been my career has been based around research and patient physician communication and decision making, and so a lot of the media work that I'm doing is more on how to talk to your doctor, how to help your how to make good decisions, how to advocate for your child, and different kind of communication tactics, advocacy. And so I was just curious, when you talk about brands, are we always talking about very like consumer or product based brands, or I'm thinking more in terms of Scary Mommy or Motherly, or some of these like media um, platforms and
Yeah.
forums.
Yeah,
Can
that's
you?
a good question. And just so you know, like to take one step back from your question,
Mhm.
you can at any point, like you can pivot. It doesn't, there's no rule in this world that says because you've talked mostly about X, you have to stick with X.
Mhm.
This is actually why a lot of people end up joining Master the Media, is because they're kind of like, okay, I've been pigeonholed into this in my day job and I actually want to be doing this. And so we help them, transition over to that secondary thing or figure out an overlap. But a brand partnership can literally be with anything. The media outlets those are going to be usually more things that you're going to do for free on their outlet, but sometimes they do hire, like Well and Good, for instance, like they do hire experts to do speaking engagements and things like that. Everyday Health as well. So there are platforms like that. You could also, freelance write. That's something that we have a whole module on. We have a freelance writing instructor who is the editor-in-chief of a magazine. But, there's so much, like literally there's apps, there's, supplements, there's, even like things like, humidifiers and devices like that would be relevant. So I always tell people to think about, like, if you personally use something in your day-to-day life, if you recommend it to friends and family, or if you recommend it to your patients, it's fair game. And so, like, for me, a lot of the partnerships I've done don't really have much to do with plant-based nutrition. Like, I worked with organic mattress companies and, coffee
Mhm.
machines, just things that I really am passionate about in my day-to-day life. And so there's a lot of, all that to say is pretty much anything is fair game.
And so, I wouldn't advertise a product that I didn't really, like you said, use or believe in, or hadn't tried. So, how would you, let's say, I'll tell you, in my operating room, all of the techs are obsessed with these like little cameras that you can put in your ear canal to look to look at earwax. I don't know. I think it's kind of random, but is there some way to be a resource for a brand to approach, say, try this, and if you like it, maybe you'll you'll help sponsor.
Yeah, absolutely. So how it usually works is if it's a lower cost item, like I'm going to just use Koya smoothies as an example because I literally just had one. So that's something that's like $4 at the grocery store. So, I would say if it's low cost, try it yourself, make sure you like it before you pitch the brand. But, the organic mattress I was talking about, that was something where they ended up giving me a mattress as part of the partnership, because I'm not going to go out and buy, a $1,500 mattress and try it to make sure I like it. Beforehand, I did a lot of research to make sure I liked the ingredients and I liked what people were saying about it and I liked the founder story. But when it gets kind of expensive, sometimes part of your brand partnership kind of benefit can be that you're getting the product as well. Like in the example of Dr. Kara, she got, a whole bunch of products from Canopy as part of her partnership. And so that's, they weren't expecting her to go and buy those herself. That's always the benefit of working with a brand.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Um, since we're on the topic of physicians, any other physicians who want to ask questions? Don't be shy, please. Just very honored that you guys are here. Okay, before I jump in to answer more questions, because I know some of you joined late, I just wanted to do a quick announcement of the bonuses that are ending tomorrow. We actually just added a flash bonus. So when you enroll in Master the Media by midnight tomorrow night, you get 1 extra month of our concierge support. So that's 7 months total. If you pay in full, you get an additional month. So that's 8 months total. And then everyone also gets a one-on-one 50K strategy session with one of our coaches. And they're literally going to create 5 customized bundles for you, like the bundles I just showed you, where you can use those to earn 50K in brand partnerships. Nancy.
Amy, nice to meet you.
Ew.
Two questions, or one question, one comment. So I'm a registered dietitian, decades of experience. And I'll get to that in a minute. But first of all, I don't know that I see anywhere the cost of the Master of the Media, Master of the class. Where am I
Oh,
missing
that
it?
is a great question. So let me actually share my screen and show you.
So that's my first question.
Yeah, let me show you. Thank you for asking. Okay, so this is the Master the Media sales page. It's masterthemedia.co/course. We'll put that in the chat for you guys. There's also a QR code. So if you just click this enroll now button, it takes you all the way down here. So we just added a 12-month payment plan because a lot of you guys were asking for it. So it's $727 a month for 12 monthly payments. And we have other options too. We have a 9-month payment plan, which is $947 a month, 6-month payment plan, which is $1397 a month, or the best value is pay in full, which is $7,997. And then for any of our students we have a lot of students who stay with us for years sometimes, and we give them very generous discounts after their initial round in Master the Media.
Okay, and is it a self-paced course?
So the educational materials, so like the example I showed when Lee asked her questions, those are self-paced. The concierge support is timed. So you join our community. Let me actually show you guys. This is probably the best way to show you. So we have a private Facebook community that you get access to when you join Master the Media. And this is where we have 6 coaches in here every day, including myself, who are literally answering. Here's a question where you can see one of our students has created 2 packages that she wants feedback on. My feedback would be probably to round this, to figure out a way to round this up to 20,000 to make it a nice even round number. Then we have, this is where you get to ask any questions that you have. I want to find an example of, we share brand partnership opportunities in here. So like here's a media opportunity. These are first come, first serve. And we have these for all types of health professionals that we have in Master the Media. You know, it was a little slow yesterday because of the holiday. So I want to find an example. So like this is an example of Mom Cozy came to us and wanted, I think we gave them like 10 or so people's names, and sometimes the brand will hire multiple experts. And then what happens is if they don't hire everyone who we send them immediately, they might keep your name on file even well past the point that you're done with Master the Media and reach out to you later. So our community is the place where you're going to get day-to-day feedback, get those brand partnership opportunities, get those media opportunities. I want to show you like a more fun one. So yeah, like we have like Martha Stewart and really exciting outlets like that. And then we have coaching calls. So those happen twice a week. We have our advanced call on Tuesday from 4 p.m. Eastern time to 5 p.m. Even when you're just starting, we recommend that you join just so you get to hear other people's questions and start to think of ideas. Thursday at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern time is our foundation call, which is more beginner type questions like what should I put as my bio on my Instagram page? And then the second Friday of every month, we have a non-nutrition coaching call for anyone who is not a dietitian or a nutritionist. So that's for all of you physicians. And there's like some more kind of concierge services, but those are the bulk of them. We also send out an e-blast about every student who joins to our list of 7,300 brands and media.
Okay, thank you for that. So my comment then is, so I'm going to date myself here. So just humor me. And I thought maybe I could talk to you one-on-one, but I am at that retirement age, which 65. And so I've been a dietitian for over 40 years. And I'm looking to I have a private practice. I've been an academy spokesperson. I've done advocacy, public policy chair for the academy. I've been a college professor. I am looking to start to um, wean off my private practice. And so I've done radio work and TV and media and articles, but my interest, I think, and I don't know if you cover this, is do you ever get any radio options? Do you get
Yeah.
commodities? I'm interested in
Oh yeah,
commodities. I'm interested in organizations, like things
we
like that.
absolutely do. We have a whole module on radio and podcast and TV. And also, first of all, congratulations on your successes. Those are incredible.
On a journey for sure.
But like, and you're not alone. We have a lot of the people who join Master the Media, they come in kind of at a place where you're coming in where it's like, okay, I want to do something different. I want to take a step back, but make more money at the same time.
Mhm.
And so I'm just going to show you to answer your question about commodities. So we have this ever-growing list of brand contacts. So right now there's 3,600 brands on here. We literally are updating it every week. And you get this as part of your enrollment. And so I'm just gonna like do a keyword search. So we have like so many
There's an
commodities
almond
and also
board, I see it.
associations. So we have like the almond board,
Yeah,
um,
tortilla
the American
marketing.
lamb board, the American
Yeah.
pistachio growers, avocados from Peru. I mean, that was just getting through the A's.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's a lot. There's also some really niche associations in here where you're like, I didn't know there was an association for,
Mhm.
sometimes it's like, wellness for like, mechanical workers, like really, really specific niches.
Do you have any that are public policy related, out of curiosity? I know
Yeah.
it's a touchy one, but
Give me an example just so I could search it more easily.
there's so much talk on the Hill right now about nutrition, right? So it's I'm trying to well, it probably would be through an organization
Yeah,
too. Like I'm just
like
trying to think here really quick.
Mental Health America. Let me just look up. So we have
So
associations.
insurance companies are a big one of the reasons, they're hard to deal with in
Yeah.
private practice. And so like it could be me. I don't know if that would be something. I don't know.
Insurance, yeah. So if we don't have it on this list, and yeah, we have like the Monday campaigns like Kids Cook Monday and Meatless Mondays and Quit and Stay Quit Monday. There's a lot of associations along those
Oh, I
lines.
can see you've got a variety. Yeah.
Yeah, if there's
Okay.
something that we don't have, we help you figure out how to find it. So
Okay.
um, I
And
don't know offhand if we have insurance companies, but we would help you figure that out.
last question. I imagine, since I have all these grandkids, I'm not looking to work full time. I'm looking to actually spend more time with them. So to get away from my day-to-day job, so to speak, right? So then I can pace what I want, that's what it sounds like, correct?
Absolutely. So
Okay.
the beauty of this, I mean, I have a 10-month-old baby and I'm 44. So like my timeline might not make sense to everyone, but like I certainly don't want to be working even close to full time.
Right.
And so I really one of the main reasons that Master the Media exists is to help all of you guys live a lifestyle that makes sense for everyone and make the money that you want in less time by doing this high value work for brands. And there's ways that you can even, group everything together with your grandchildren. Like there's partnerships where, maybe you do like a STEM activity, like one of those boxes that you get in the mail every month, and that's your
Mhm.
partnership. It's really the sky's the limit.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the time. Appreciate all that.
Of course. All right. I've been trying to keep up with the chat questions, but I don't know if I actually did. So if you ask something that I didn't get to, please raise your hand. I think Kristlyn was asking a question. You were saying that you want to Kristlyn wants to be considered for a brand deal. I don't know if you wanted to ask a specific question, Kristlyn. We can come back to you. Kathleen.
Hey there, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I had a question. I've done a little bit of media stuff, but it's been several years. And so I'm thinking about getting back into it. And I'm wondering if you have any suggestions on what I could do just to kind of get some experience that I could put, on paper or in an
Yeah,
email.
awesome.
Or my social media, I really don't have anything right now. Is there anything specific I could do with that that would be
Yeah,
helpful?
so the beauty of everything is that you can kind of use one thing to bounce off of the other. So when you do a media interview and it gets published, you can use that to create a social media post, and you can say tag the brand, the media outlet that you mentioned, and get them, hopefully they'll repost you, and then that can get you traction to help grow your social media. So it's kind of like putting one piece of work to work for you. Do you have like a main interest, like, web articles or podcasts?
No, I think, well, probably either writing and or um, camera type media, I guess.
Yeah. So today's landscape it's interesting because media's, I mean, I was a magazine journalism major for undergrad and grad school before I became a
Mhm.
dietitian, and it's very different than it used to be. For freelance writing, I would keep your ears open. Like we actually have a free Facebook group, and I'll put that into the chat, where there's a lot of opportunities that are shared either for quotes or for freelance writing. So I'm going to pop that in, and that's free to join. The other for podcasts, like that's actually something where it's kind of, that's like my favorite right now, because podcasts are still kind of the wild, wild west in like the best way possible. If you love a podcast, like if any of you guys are like, I love Master of the Media's podcast, and you have a great idea, like send me an idea, send me an email, and who knows, you could be our next guest. That's how a lot of it's happening these days, is just literally like sending somebody a great idea. So I would, my suggestion is always like, don't be shy. That is something we have a pretty comprehensive guide on in Master of the Media, is like walking you through the pitch process for freelance writing. For broadcast media, we have we have a Good Morning America broadcast instructor who's there to help you with your pitches to producers. But really, my number one piece of feedback is always just to put yourself out there, because if you don't, you're definitely going to get a no. But if you
Mhm.
do, then it might be a yes. And for all of you guys, like every single one of you has a healthcare professional expertise, and a lot of the media outlets like Everyday Health, for instance, like they are, even though they're not hiring, say, a lot of normal writers, they are still hiring medical experts, because they want that line where it says, RD or MD, because that helps them get seen on Google, which helps them make more money with ads.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. I know you guys have more questions. I think I saw Carolyn starting to ask a question at some point.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi.
Okay, it's so funny. You mentioned Everyday Health. I used to do freelance producing for them.
Oh, such a small world.
So, but I'm curious. I don't really have a strong social media presence, and a lot of these people have had bylines and podcasts and videos and what have you, and I have a background in that. But personally, that's what I did to produce them. But now I'm heading in a different direction. So my question is, how possible is it for someone who doesn't have that situation to move into being a really a knowledge expert?
It's like 1,000% possible. What's your area of specialty?
I'm a culinary health coach and personal chef.
Okay, that's awesome. And that's very, there's a lot of chef content out there right now. Um, here is, this is Caitlin. She's a dietitian and master of the media. She has earned over $50,000 in brand partnerships. Look at her Instagram. There's 2 posts.
Oh, really? Oh my.
She doesn't she doesn't really do anything on social media.
Hmm.
So my point is that there's a million ways to make money with brands, and you don't have to have social media if you don't want to. If you want to grow that, we can help you. I always say it goes in a circle. Like you can start with 0. Maybe you do a brand partnership and they tag you, and then you get followers, or you get featured in media and they tag you, and then you start to build your following. But if you don't want to, you don't have to.
Yeah.
And also, like, it's not gonna, because like think like a brand could hire you to be on their social media because they want the expert content. Or in Caitlin's case, like she That whole $50,000 was like from doing work. She was at a trade show at a brand's booth answering questions. She helped them come up with the strategy for that. She created like email content that they sent out to their email list. So all of it was kind of behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, but not on social media.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, Christina.
Let's see. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, good. I couldn't figure out how to unmute myself earlier today. I had to hop off for about 10 minutes and then I'm back.
No worries.
So I had a few questions and some of them might have been answered during the few minutes that I was off. But yeah, I think that you were probably just speaking to this just while I was off. But my question was about if I don't have a social media following at this point, and I'm also not very big on social media personally. So I just started working again in this last year. I think I mentioned that on the call that I was on last week for the Q&A. And when I started doing that, I worked in wellness for like about 20 years, and then I was a patient, and now I'm health coaching again. But when I started working again, one of the business coaching programs I did, they were like, you have to be on social media and you have to post to your stories like 7 times a day. And I was like, that is so wildly unhealthy for me. And it also really stressed me out for the first 6 months of working. And I was like, and then I started writing and I started posting that to my Facebook. But the problem was nobody's on my Facebook. Literally, I have like 150 followers. And then I was getting some viewership from like non-followers, but it's still not very much. So my question is, writing is my interest, like blogging is my biggest interest. And then also what you were just saying about like trade shows, email marketing on behalf of companies, maybe doing social media on their social media is my interest. So what are the opportunities there? That's like totally my alley.
Let me just address the social media thing because I also do not really enjoy social media. I'm just going to say that.
Thank you.
Love it. And so I don't encourage people to do things that they don't enjoy. Like I just that, and there's a lot of different ways of thinking out there. But I'll give you an example. So I'm doing a partnership with this European resort. I'm actually going on like a $7,000 free vacation, and in exchange, I'm doing like an Instagram reel and 2 emails. That's it.
Sounds amazing.
And so originally they were like, okay, we want you to post 3 times a day on Instagram stories. I was like, I don't do that. And I was like, I knew that I wouldn't be able to enjoy it. And it's not worth going. So I was like, I don't do that. And so we went back and forth and they were like, okay. And so my point is if they, I was like, I'll still post on Instagram stories when I get home. And I'll post, an Instagram reel when I get home, but I want to enjoy my vacation while I'm on it. And so my point is like, you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. And I think while you were away for a second, I was just sharing an example of one of our students. She's a dietitian. She's earned over $50,000 in brand partnerships. And her Instagram account has 2 posts on it. Literally, like she does not touch it is the point. So it's like whatever you want to do. If you want to work behind the scenes, if you want to create, content for the brand to post on social media, if you want to be an expert at their trade show, answering questions or even doing events with them, if you want to write content for their website, which is like, that pays extremely well. That's like at least $2,000, sometimes $4,000 or $5,000 per article for their website. So anyway, my point is that you guys have so much like exceptional expertise that brands are happy to have it in whatever form that is.
Sure. Okay, great. That's awesome. And then my other question, if I can kind of piggyback, is because I've kind of had this kind of weird experience. I had like the many years of experience that was in both education, personal training, group fitness. I did like a lot of kind of random stuff. And then 5 years as a patient, basically. And so I've kind of walked on both sides. And a lot of my experience this year, or in the last 5 years, was being a chronic illness patient. And there's a lot of opportunity, I think, to potentially partner with brands and share that experience in addition to the knowledge that I have as a professional.
Absolutely.
So how can I marry those two, I
You
guess, is my
absolutely
question.
can. And a lot of kind of like a lot of what you guys are going to end up doing is marrying together your personal experience with your professional
Okay.
experience. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I know you work with Dr. Kara, like that's
Yes.
a great example of she
Mhm.
literally is like the walking, talking version of this. Like her whole platform is, I was the patient, I'm the expert, you know,
Yeah.
here are
That's
my goals. So like, yeah, if something like Therabody or Migrastick or whatever your toolkit things are
sure.
that helped you, I'll give you an example. So whatever, I'm all about TMI here. So I used to get I used to get chronic UTIs, and yeast infections. And so like years ago, I discovered Metagenics. They make an ultraflora women's probiotic. And I was like, I literally like changed my like whole life. I was like, okay, like I can function now. Like I I barely ever have anything going on. But I consistently take this probiotic. And so I actually pitched them like, hey, I'm a dietitian, but I'd also love to share my story. And so we did a whole
Yeah.
campaign where I shared my story on social media. I did a webinar talking to other healthcare professionals, sharing my story. And so we did this whole campaign about something that was really personal to me, but also like I'm like it's really personal and I want other people to not have to go through what I went through. So all that to say you can absolutely use your personal experience and it will probably go really well.
I really love that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Emily.
I'll ask another question. You
Oh,
already
please.
talked about it earlier in the session, but can you reinforce this message? Like, so if you've never partnered with a brand or if we've done media and speaking, but not in paid, industry keynote fashion, how can I fake it till I make it kind of
Yeah, I
scenario?
mean, you don't even have to fake it. So the
Mhm,
beauty of being in this room of healthcare professionals is that you're like more important than your media, more important than brand experience is the fact that you're a doctor. Like
mhm,
how many years did you go to school for? How many like it's just that is like the number one thing. But beyond that, like the fact that you have media experience, you could use that to say, you know, as seen in XYZ outlet, like we'll even show you how to add up your media reach and say, I have a media reach of, 20 million. All of those things will get the attention of a brand, but the reason that in Master the Media, we don't say that you have to have any experience beforehand is because the number one accelerator is your medical expertise, your healthcare expertise. And so I can't say we've ever had like when brands come to us and they come to us every single week saying, hey, we need this type of expert, that type of expert. They've never said like we need someone with experience working with brands
mm,
because they know that like you're in Master the Media, we're training you how to work with them in a way that they're going to benefit and it's ethical, you're disclosing, but like they also know that you're the expert.
mhm. Good answer. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I know it can feel scary, but it's actually, this is what like we will literally hold your hand throughout the whole like what to say, what should be in the contract, what to price things at. Um, and then really, you get to do the work that, you're endorsing products that you already recommend. Okay, we have time for a couple more questions if anyone has one that they want to ask. Laurel.
I couldn't find the hand button. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Off to a good start. I apologize. I came late, but I have been following you, Amy, for a very long time. And yeah, no, amazing. Um, interesting. So over time, I have built up my social media a little bit. And I guess my specialty now would be gut health and hormone for women, although, of course, I could do other things. Um, I guess I feel overwhelmed, like where to start. And I know part of this is having a strategy session, but would you mind just taking a moment just to help guide like how that would work? Because I saw your spreadsheet at the end and all the possibilities. So I'm sure there's at least one thing there that would match up well. Uh,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
So the number one that we have you do once you join Master the Media, you get to access the brand partnership school and the 50K bundling blueprint to kind of get your, okay, I can do all of this without doing any other steps. Then we have you kind of like pause and you meet with our marketing instructor, Jonathan. who has marketed like 75 best-selling books, and he helps you really define your niche. So if you go to him and say, I want to focus on gut health, like you'll work with him to think through, who are you talking to? Is it women? Is it men? Are they educated? Do they have kids? Do they like to travel? What do they eat? Like literally everything you could ever think of. Because then you have to, that could be totally different messaging if you're talking to women versus men, if you're talking to, parents or not parents.
Sure.
So then you take that and then we kind of figure out, okay, if you want to be on social media, we might suggest making some tweaks to, what you call yourself on social media. When you're pitching yourself to media, are we going to say, Laurel, who is a gut health expert, like what are we going to have your tagline be? And so all of these nuances, we help you figure out, and it's not overwhelming. It's literally like someone's there holding your hand the entire way.
Thank you. Super helpful.
You're
So it
welcome.
doesn't necessarily matter like what I'm doing. Like I can figure out what it is that I want to do and we could work from there.
Absolutely. I actually like it better sometimes when you come in and you're like, I need some direction, because sometimes what happens is if someone's like, oh, I need a website and I need this and I need this, and they spent months and months and like, tens of thousands of dollars on their new website, and then they come to us and I'm like, this isn't specific. You're saying you're a women's health expert. Like, what does that even
I
mean?
help people. Like it's very specific.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
I actually like it when you haven't done all of that beforehand, because we're not really like, we don't have to redo anything.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. For those of you guys who weren't here earlier when I made the announcement, so we have 3 bonuses. We just added one that are expiring tomorrow night. So when you enroll in Master the Media by midnight tomorrow, you get 1 free month in Master the Media. So that's 7 months of total support, of concierge support. If you pay in full, you get an additional month. So that's 8 months. And then you also get a one-on-one strategy session with one of our coaches, where you literally will figure out, like, here are the 5 bundles that you're going to pitch brands to make $50,000 in brand partnerships in the next 6 months. Is there anyone who was like too shy to ask a question? Now's your chance.
I just have one more question. What
Yeah,
if
go for it.
we can't commit to the intensive program, but are still interested in the services?
So you mean like the course materials?
Or like the time period and lecture time.
Yeah, so we offer, there's a few different options. Like, one is if you want to get access to everything on the back end, like all of the brand contacts and the bundling blueprint, you could enroll now and say, okay, Amy, I want to start in October, or I want to start in January, with your it would be today 7 months of concierge support, and we could absolutely do that in that way. Because I know summer is a busy time and it doesn't work schedule-wise for every single one of us, but that way you at least get started with going through everything at your own pace.
Right.
And then I know we have some of our current students here. Do you guys have any questions about the offer that we currently have with the BOGO, the buy one get one? So right now we're doing we have a reduced rate for students and graduates, and we're doing a fun promo where you can literally buy anywhere from 1 to 12 months and get 1 to 12 months for free.
So that just keeps adding up toward, because I know I have
I know.
from the last time.
I know you did it last time, so no pressure. But
Right. Well, I'm thinking like I won't get like 6 months to get a year, but I'm thinking like should I get 3 months to get 6 months? But then
well, then for now, if you do that today, so
so
the other bonuses that we have for current students are you get your one-on-one strategy session, and then you also get 1 extra month. So it's a really good time if you were thinking about it, but no pressure.
right. And that, but that the extra because I already have my strategy session, but if I have that and so I have to do the 6 months to get the extra one-on-one session, or
yeah, you'd prepay for 3 months to get 6 months, and then you get another session. And we
oh,
have
okay.
changed the format of the session where now we're like literally creating bundles for you that you can pitch brands.
Oh, okay. Oh, so I can just do 3 months to get 6 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. I don't have to get the 6 months to get the year anymore. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we changed because a lot of people were asking for like, can I do 3 months? I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make it where you can do 1, 3, 6, or 12 months.
Okay. All right, cool. I think you just sold me. No, it's just like the time is like really hard, the time and getting through everything. So
I know, but you're doing so
yes,
awesome with the program.
thank you.
Of course.
Amy,
Yeah, Nancy.
I want to piggyback on looks like Emily's question here, right? Because the same type of thing is like if I start this, I mean, I still have a full-time job too, you know what I mean, I still have other things. And so it's if just correct me, I think I heard you say if we were to join, you'd work with us if we wanted to maybe start in the fall time, October.
Yeah. So
Okay.
what you would do, you would enroll now, and
Mhm.
it's just excuse me, I have to my throat's going. So you would enroll now, and then you would just email me and say, "Hey, Amy, I want to start in October or November, whatever the specific date is," and then we'll set you up. But then in the meantime, you'll get access to everything on our back end, so that those list of 3,600 contacts, the bundles that you can pitch brands, so you can start kind of, going through things at your own pace.
That's what I wondered too, because I was going to ask how frequently do like your students are they getting on those sites? Because that's my thought too. Like that's going to take time, right? And so,
Can you ask that one more time?
so is somebody looking on all these sites daily? Like, if I'm looking for an opportunity, and I think I understood you correctly that you're pitching those on the Facebook page, I think.
Oh, yes. Okay. So how it works with the media opportunities, so like Martha Stewart, US News, those are first come, first serve because the reporters are on like tight
Yes.
deadlines. So sometimes they'll say we need 3 people. The first 3 people, we have one of our assistants is in there like all the time, handling that. That's pretty much her full-time job. And then for the brand partnerships, we usually, unless there's a deadline with the brand, we usually keep them open for a full week. And anyone who puts their name in the hat, we submit them to the brand.
So it's up to us to be checking that regularly.
Yeah,
Really,
so
it's
and when
beyond
you
that.
enroll, you get kind of a suggestion of what to do, and on there, it's like spend 15 minutes a day looking at the opportunities in the Facebook group. That Facebook group access would start when your months when your 6 or 7 months in this case of concierge support start.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. And we also have, I mean, we have a lot of, there's like so much to cover that I probably didn't even touch on. Like we have a relationship with an agent who's booking commercials, like $20,000, $30,000 commercials. And so we submit like a lot of those, we just submit you directly to him. Like last week, they were like, we need an OBGYN who's a woman. And so there's a lot that we're doing to network on your behalf as well. All right, everyone. Well, I'm really, really excited to work with all of you guys. And if you think of a question that you didn't ask, I'm gonna just put my email in here in the chat and don't be shy. So I'll see you guys soon. Have a great night. Well, I hope you enjoyed that coaching session. We never open things up to the public for coaching. And so because we did, I figured you guys would really enjoy it. If you want more guidance on how to land brand partnerships, I would love for you to catch the replay of the masterclass that I just hosted on how to land $50,000 in brand partnerships in 6 months. You can catch that at masterthemedia.co/replay.